The row over the status of the EU's ambassador to Britain proves the bloc considers itself a European superstate, according to a Brexit-supporting former MEP. João Vale de Almeida, the EU's first ambassador in London after Brexit, has been refused the same diplomatic privileges as ambassadors sent by national governments because the UK has deemed the bloc to be an international organisation like NATO or the UN rather than an individual state. Furious EU Foreign Affairs Chief Josep Borrell has now written to Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab directly demanding an explanation, and Michel Barnier, who led the EU's negotiating team during Brexit talks, has warned the UK should be very careful in its approach. But Brexiteer politician Patrick O'Flynn said the spat had simply revealed how the EU now self-IDs as a superstate. Writing in The Telegraph, he said, "For a pro-Brexit former MEP like me, the situation is replete with irony." He continued, "I spent many years arguing just this case, that the EU was an embryonic superstate that was accruing essential sovereignty from countries that it had downgraded to member states. To the EU's aforementioned inventory of nation-state characteristics could be added its own flag, anthem and parliament. It does seem strange that, even post-Brexit, the Foreign Office should be seeking to maintain its long-running fiction that the EU is just another multinational grouping like the Commonwealth or NATO. If it ever was just that, then surely it transitioned long ago via a series of treaties, including Maastricht and Lisbon, which gave it its own legal personality." Mr. O'Flynn said the diplomatic row had raised difficult questions about the status of its 27 member states now the EU was openly identifying and behaving as a country. He said, "Can they really be considered full independent nations too? Can sovereignty over the same matters be said to reside in EU institutions and national ones simultaneously? True intellectual consistency would demand that were the EU's demands to be acceded to, Mr. Raab would need to call in 27 European ambassadors and tell them they were being downgraded to provincial emissaries no longer entitled to ignore parking fines or tax demands."